Right now at 5, the Civil War Ranch in Carthage cleans up its arena after storms caused damage to the building.
And we've actually got ourselves a possible alert day for strong to severe thunderstorms later tonight. We'll talk about the showers happening now and that severe threat coming up.
And a motorcycle crash with an ice cream van sends a man to the hospital.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got some pretty good showers going on out there. They're starting to pause, at least momentarily, but we've got more rain on the way as we head through the morning. So I know when I left for work, we had a pretty good downpour taking place, and it's been great to have all of this much needed rain across the area. So here's a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, what we're seeing right now. And here's a wider view of the extra rain showers that are eventually going to be rolling through our area as we head into the afternoon. As for our severe threat, that's going to come from the west. And there's still some questions on exactly what could play out. So let's take a look at the rest of today. We go through this morning, we get a few more of those showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms rolling through the area, and then by about 2 o'clock or so, the last of them are on their way out of here. And then we'll start to see some clearing in some areas and start to see a little sunshine. And depending on how much sunshine you see, it's of course going to have an impact on what your temperatures are for today. Then we head into this evening, and that same sunshine can play a role in determining whether or not storms out to our west manage to survive into our area overnight. If they do, this is one scenario where they're going to come through the area between about 1 and 4 a.m. as we head into our Friday, and they could be strong to severe. Another scenario could have this system a little bit bigger where it covers more of the area as we head into early tomorrow morning. So that's something we're going to keep a close eye on. Right now, the elevated risks are off a little bit further to the west for tornado. There's a low-end tornado risk for the rest of the area up into southwest Missouri, right up along Jasper, Barton, Vernon, McDonald, Newton counties. Elevated hail risk, low-end hail risk here, elevated wind risk, and a low-end wind risk here. And you can see how short a distance this is. So that's why there's some scenarios and some question as to exactly how the storms tonight are going to play out. But it's something that we're going to keep a very close eye on through the day, and we'll keep you updated on those storm chances. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin, showing some wet roads. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, just south of Pittsburgh. Let's talk about the rest of today. Right now, we're dry in Joplin, but more showers, of course, on the way. 66. East-southeast breeze at about 8 miles an hour. And across the region, not bad. 64 Iola, 67 Chinook, Parsons, Chetopa, Miami, 66 in Neosho and Carthage. We get our day started. Again, a few scattered showers and thunderstorms out there pushing into the lower 70s by late morning. And depending on your sunshine, we're looking at highs right around the mid-70s, but could be some near 80-degree readings. And then tonight, our evening looks great in the 70s, partly cloudy, and then we'll watch for the return of those strong, possibly severe thunderstorms tonight. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Some home and business owners are cleaning up from Tuesday night's storm damage. The arena at the Civil War Ranch in Carthage is one of many properties in Jasper County dealing with roof damage from the storms. Owners of the Civil War Ranch are grateful the worker who was in the arena was not hurt, and the storm did not damage the horse stables. Competitions that usually take place in the arena might have to be postponed or canceled, but events like weddings that take place elsewhere at the ranch will not be affected.
And we have a guy that works for us, and he was inside the arena. He was in the concession area, and that's what he said, that the ground just shook and it just boom.
The Civil War Ranch is waiting on the insurance audit for a quote on the cost of repairs. Other places in southwest Missouri also sustained storm damage. A tree on North Pearl and Joplin fell and blocked a road. Part of the tree landed on a car. Officials say it'll be a couple of days until the tree is cleared. And repairs are underway for Peggy's Restaurant in Jasper, Missouri. The restaurant had extensive roof damage overnight. Wednesday marked the 15th anniversary of one of the deadliest tornadoes in the history of the 4 states. On May 10, 2008, a twister first struck in Pitcher, Oklahoma, killing 6 people and destroying more than 160 homes. As it moved into Missouri, it merged with another tornado at Highway 43 and Iris Road south of Joplin. It killed 16 more people there, including multiple members of 2 families and a volunteer from the Seneca Area Fire Protection District who was trying to warn people. Some of the victims were in their homes. Others were killed in their vehicles on the highway. You can see a bit of our coverage from that weekend on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's called the KOAM Skywatch weather app. A motorcyclist is in the hospital following a crash with an ice cream van. The crash happened at 4th and Schifferdecker in Joplin just before 1 Wednesday afternoon. Authorities say the motorcycle driver was driving north on Schifferdecker when it hit the side of the ice cream truck. The intersection was closed for a few hours. The van driver was not injured. No word on the condition of the motorcycle rider. Carthage Technology Center's carpentry class is building brighter futures, and our very own Carrie Worthen went to Carthage to learn more. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. The center provides hands-on learning for students for Carthage and the surrounding schools. Building items like sheds in the class can help students get a feel for their future careers. After the project is done, they auction them off to replace the money it costs for the materials.
Our school doesn't offer that, so it's nice to come here in the morning and be able to work. And like I said, he's a good teacher, he's smart, you know, he's good at his job, and you get hands-on experience with everything you do here.
The Carthage Technology Center carpentry class has 2 by 10 by 10 storage sheds for sale. Bids are due by 12 noon on May 12th. That's tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Carrie. What kind of price are they hoping, or dollar amount are they hoping to get out of these 2 sheds?
Well, I think they do it more for the learning experience. So I don't think they have a certain set amount, but they would like to get some money to replace the materials that they're using to build these sheds, so they can continue to do this for further years.
They'll need money to purchase for new sheds, of course. All right, thank you so much, Carrie. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, 1 student signs to do track and field at PSU. We'll have why she chose PSU over other colleges in sports. Plus, as AI continues to grow, it has experts worrying about the effects on the upcoming election. And there may be a big breakthrough for people with peanut allergies. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Missouri Southern Lions are still alive in the MIAA Conference Tournament. The Lions won their opening series over Newman last weekend to move on to the Final Four in the tournament bracket. Next up for Southern, they face Northeastern State in the semifinals tomorrow afternoon in Warrensburg. These 2 teams played just a few weeks ago, with the Lions taking 2 out of 3 from the Riverhawks in Joplin. All season, Missouri Southern has had the best offense in the conference, but they know as they begin the playoffs, pitching will be huge if they want to make it a deep postseason run.
I trust every single person on our staff to go out and compete to the best of their ability, and it's really nice knowing that you have a group of guys in the pen and starting wise that are going to go out and give their heart out on the mound for you.
Hopefully we'll be able to play 4 games or up there. It'll be more than a 3-game series like we're used to. We're going to need a depth guy to step up and pitch well, and we got some guys that have hopefully prepared for that, even though they haven't pitched a lot during the regular season, but each team's in that same spot, so we need a couple of pitchers to step up for sure.
Our offense is pretty explosive. Our pitchers have been dominant lately, and when we're going good with our offense exploding and our pitchers shutting hitters down, it's pretty exciting and it's fun to be a part of.
The Crowder College Rough Riders are back in the Region 16 baseball tournament. The Rough Riders are the #1 seed in the 4-team tournament being played this weekend at Joe Becker Stadium. Crowder is aiming for their 4th consecutive Region 16 championship. The Rough Riders went 45-11 in the regular season, and they entered the Region 16 tournament ranked 5th in the nation. Here's the team on getting to play the tournament close to home and their first round matchup against Mineral Area.
Have good two-strike at-bats. We got to play defense, all the little things. You got to take care of those controllables, but we got to put up big innings. They're good offensively, and they got power arms. You're not going to single those guys to death. You better get them in chunks, or they're going to be tough to beat.
It's great. We have a great fan base, a great community who supports us. Our college is very, accommodating. They help us out a lot, and our community is very, very good to us. They come out to a lot of our games back home, and so this is almost like, another home game for us and a home tournament, and we're just, going to go take care of business and, maybe put on a little show for the fans.
Well, Girard High School senior Gracie Peterson signed yesterday to continue her track and field career in college. Peterson is headed down the road to Pittsburgh State to compete for the Gorillas next year. Peterson is a multiple-time league and regional champion. She's a state medalist in the long jump and holds the school records in the 100-meter dash and the 4x100 relay. But heading into PSU, Peterson's main focus, at least early, will be competing in long jump.
I've trained in the Plaster Center, and I've been around them, and just the way that they treat their athletes, the way that their athletes are, that kind of, I saw how it worked instead of them trying to explain to me how it was. I just watched it, and it was an environment I really wanted to be in. I think for the longest time I was just trying to get there, and then now it started to set in that it's going to be challenging, it's going to be tough, it's not going to be what I'm used to, but I'm excited, I'm ready for it.
Still to come, a vaccine for pancreatic cancer is showing some promise to help prevent it. And we got another check of our showers and our potentially stormy night when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 almost on this Thursday morning. We've got a possible alert day for us as we head into this evening and overnight for some strong to severe thunderstorms. We're going to talk about why that is and what we're watching here in just a moment. First, a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Still got some scattered showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder out there, and we have more rolling in from the southeast that'll continue to impact us at least through the afternoon, possibly early afternoon hours as we go into today. And then our severe threat tonight is going to come from parts of south central Kansas and north central Oklahoma. Let's take a look down the road. We go through the rest of the morning. Again, a few showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder out there, and these will carry on through about 2, 3 o'clock, and then they'll be out of here. We'll get some clearing, and depending on how much clearing you see, you may be a little warmer than your neighbors. Then we head into this evening, and we've got strong to severe thunderstorms that are expected out to the west. The question is whether or not they'll survive as they make it into our area overnight. If they do, all severe hazards would be possible with these storms, but if they don't, we may just get some additional much-needed rain and maybe a few flashes of lightning. And that impact time is between roughly 1 and 4 a.m. Friday. So we're keeping an eye on that. You can see we've got the elevated tornado risk for our western counties and a low-end risk for the rest of us here in the Brown. Elevated hail risk and an elevated wind risk as well. So again, it's something we're going to keep a close eye on through today. We'll keep you updated on what the expectations are. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. We've got wet roads, same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh, and same wet roads from our camera at 7th and range line. We're at 66 in Joplin right now, in between the rain showers with an east-southeast breeze at about 8 miles an hour. We got a lot of 66s. We got Fort Scott, Nevada, Lamar, Carthage, Pittsburgh, Neosho, Anderson, Independence, and then some 67, Chanute, Parsons, Chautauqua, and Miami. So mid-60s around the area. Well, those scattered thunderstorms through the morning, low 70s by late morning. And then we head into this afternoon. We're looking at highs on average mid-70s, but some of us with more sunshine could see the near 80 degrees. Then we'll have a pretty pleasant evening. We'll have partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 70s, and then we're watching those thunderstorm chances return as we head into the late evening and overnight hours. Up to 80 tomorrow, a very conditional severe thunderstorm threat for us on Friday. More storms Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and temperatures stay mild 70s, lower 80s. Well, with the next presidential election slowly taking shape, there are growing concerns about what kind of role artificial intelligence will have on campaigns. Specifically, how will voters know what's real or fake? Brian Todd reports.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson.
Just days after being fired from Fox News, right-wing provocateur Tucker Carlson announced a new show on Twitter with a conspiratorial take on the news we consume.
At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie. You are being manipulated.
This from the man who repeatedly laid out baseless theories on his Fox show.
FBI operatives were organizing the attack on the Capitol.
The man whose platform Carlson could soon be joining, Twitter CEO Elon Musk, tweeted that they haven't signed a deal yet, after earlier tweeting, quote, "Trust nothing, not even nothing," seemingly reflective of what Axios, in a new article, calls the new trust nothing era of American politics.
There is going to be a tsunami of disinformation in this election. It's going to be hard to know what to trust. Viewers are not going to be able to distinguish the real from the fake.
Take a recent ad produced by the Republican National Committee in response to President Biden's announcement that he's running for re-election. Images in the ad were generated by artificial intelligence, AI, and ticked through a series of imagined dystopian scenarios if Biden wins.
This morning, an emboldened China invades Taiwan. Financial markets are in free fall as 500 regional banks have shuttered their doors.
Right now, it's the wild, wild west, which we saw in the RNC ad. Now, the RNC was transparent that it was AI, but again, the concern is other people won't be as transparent.
AI and the potential that it will spread misinformation is such a concern that the White House recently hosted the CEOs of top AI companies and warned them of the perils AI poses to the public.
What you're doing has an enormous potential and enormous danger.
These days, there are deep fakes all over social media, from a computer-generated Mark Zuckerberg to fake news anchors from China, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky supposedly surrendering, and counterfeit clips of Trump and Biden.
These sophisticated AI tools for creating fake videos is available to everybody. You don't need to be a coder or a technical person in order to use these types of techniques. Anybody can engage in disinformation, and a lot of people will be engaging in disinformation.
What can the average voter do in this election cycle to avoid falling for campaign misinformation?
Going into the 2024 election, people are going to have to be really judicious about their news sources.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Do you plan to vote in the next election? Yes or no? We want to hear from you, so make sure you take time to vote through our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in our app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a new study shows sleep apnea can lead to frightening brain damage. Is a condition described as stopping breathing for 10 seconds or more multiple times per night. Researchers found people with severe sleep apnea get less deep sleep and develop damage to the white matter of their brains. This matter forms connections between brain cells and the rest of the nervous system. The damage to it slows the brain's ability to process information and remember things. Now, the damage can be seen on MRI scans, but once it has occurred, there's no known way to reverse it. mRNA vaccine that programs the body to fight pancreatic cancer is showing early promise. The pancreatic cancer vaccine is tailored to each patient's tumor by extracting the tumor and using genetic code from it. 16 patients were able to complete all phases of the pancreatic cancer vaccine study. 8 of them responded to the vaccine, which taught their immune systems to recognize and fight off cancer cells. None of those 8 saw their cancer return. Could be a big breakthrough for people with peanut allergies. In a new study published Wednesday, researchers with DBV Technologies said an experimental skin patch to treat peanut allergies is showing some promise. Scientists tested the Via Skin peanut patch on more than 350 toddlers. The patch features the equivalent of 1/1000th of a peanut. After a year, 2/3 of the children with a less sensitive peanut allergy could safely tolerate eating the equivalent of 3 or 4 peanuts. Well, millions of Americans have been prescribed antidepressants for chronic pain, but a new study indicates that they may not help. 1 in 3 people live in chronic pain. That's defined as pain that lasts more than 3 months. A 2-year study of 25 different antidepressants showed that only 1 of them appeared to be effective in treating chronic pain. That medication is Diloxicin, sold under the brand name Cymbalta. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves some showers and a few thunderstorms continuing this morning and a possible severe threat tonight. We'll talk about all that when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, Joplin High School hands out scholarships to more than 100 graduating seniors.
We have ourselves a possible alert day for strong to severe thunderstorms late tonight, early tomorrow morning. We'll talk about our showers today and those severe storm chances coming up.
And we take you to Carthage, Missouri, where Technology Center is not only teaching life skills, but building brighter futures as well.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:30, almost on the dot. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got a few showers out there this morning. Otherwise, not too bad. Got some much needed rainfall out of this system over the last few days. And we have more of this much needed rainfall on the way. But unfortunately, because it is May, we do have another possible round of severe weather ahead of us as well. So let's take a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. You can see a few of those heavier showers stretching from southeast Kansas back up toward Nevada and southwest Missouri. More of them on the way as we head through the morning and into the early afternoon hours as all of this continues to cycle from the south to north. But it's a system out to our west that we are monitoring. They're expecting significant severe weather in parts of south central Kansas and into north central Oklahoma. There's questions, though, on if this will make it to us tonight. Let's talk about the immediate range. We've got the scattered showers, thunderstorms going on. Here we are at noon. And then by between 2 and 3, they are on their way out of here. We'll see some clearing. Some of us may push near 80 today for highs, and others may just hang out in the mid-70s. And then it's tonight. We're looking at a couple of possible scenarios. One is how this is playing out, where some of the stronger activity stays along and south of I-44 and south of the Kansas border into Oklahoma. These could still be strong to severe. This is between roughly 1 and 4 a.m. Another possible scenario playing out is we could see development stretch back into southeast Kansas with this, and that could give us a wider threat. And that's why we do have, at least right now, we have an elevated tornado risk in our western counties and a low-end risk elsewhere, elevated hail risk in the yellow, and elevated wind risk as well. So again, we'll keep a close eye on this for you. I've got wet roads from the MoDOT camera 20th and range line, the KDOT camera 69 and 400. Let's talk specifically some temperatures around the region and how our day gets started. 67 Joplin, 66 Pittsburgh, Parsons, Lamar, and 67 in Miami. We get our morning started again. Few of those scattered showers, thunderstorms, low 70s by late morning and into the afternoon. On average, highs right around the mid 70s with those showers and storms clearing out by about 3 o'clock. We'll have more on our forecast and this possible severe threat this evening here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
Thanks, Chris. Missouri lawmakers approve significant restrictions on transgender people. Lawmakers approved bills to ban gender-affirming health care for minors and prevent transgender girls and women from playing on female sports teams. Both measures would expire in 2027. They now head to Governor Mike Parsons' desk. He is expected to sign both bills. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly signed a bill creating 2 sales tax exemptions to increase resources for suicide prevention and services. It's aimed towards elderly and disabled Kansans. The sales tax exemption will help the Kansas Suicide Prevention Headquarters increase its ability to provide suicide prevention training and raise awareness of mental health resources across the state. The tax exemption for area agencies on aging will expand its ability to serve Kansas seniors and individuals with disabilities through increased accessibility, services, and community. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signed a bill that could help prevent fentanyl overdoses. The new law will allow Oklahomans to carry fentanyl test strips without them being considered drug paraphernalia. According to the Oklahoma Department of Health, from 2019 to 2020, the number of fentanyl overdoses increased by 170% in Oklahoma. The bill will go into effect in November. Well, some Frontenac, Kansas police officers visited Frontenac High School to raise awareness of fentanyl danger. Fentanyl is a highly addictive synthetic opioid that continues to drive the overdose epidemic.
Bringing awareness of the fentanyl epidemic that our country is going through right now, trying to get these kids to understand just how dangerous it is. Usually in small communities we don't have these types of problems, but unfortunately it's here and it's going to be here, so the best thing we can do is team up with our young people in schools.
National Fentanyl Awareness Day was actually on Tuesday, but police officers visited schools Tuesday and Wednesday. On Wednesday, Joplin High School awarded scholarships to more than 100 graduating seniors. It's part of the school's Senior Honors Night. 130 scholarships were handed out by Joplin Schools, the Joplin Schools Foundation, athletic and activity booster clubs, local family endowments, and community donors. Officials say it's a great way to recognize all the hard work these students have put in as they go on to their next steps. More than 90 students were also recognized for receiving scholarships from the state of Missouri's A+ program. Joplin Fire Station number 7 opens in the fall. You can be part of the team. Training Chief Dustin Luno says they need additional firefighters to staff the new station, and they're hiring now. You must be 18 or older and have a high school diploma or GED. Luno says other requirements have been waived. He goes on to say the department will bring new recruits on and pay them while training them. Coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7, Fire Training Chief Dustin Luno stops by to tell us more about this latest recruitment drive. Well, if you're in need of a new doghouse, then you should look no further than Lakeside Elementary in Pittsburgh. Lakeside Elementary 5th graders have been hard at work handcrafting durable and unique doghouses to help raise funds for the SEK Humane Society. Houses can be viewed at Meadowbrook Mall in Pittsburgh from May 12th through the 19th. And a silent auction will be held from the 20th to the 21st, where bidders can write down their bids at the bidding table. The winners will be contacted May 22nd to not only pay for their houses, but schedule pickup as well. The Better Business Bureau has some tips on how to protect yourself from Mother's Day scams ahead of the holiday weekend. The BBB recommends avoiding suspicious websites. A quick solution is to make sure the website has HTTPS and a lock in the URL. And purchase your flowers from a trusted source and one that can deliver on time. The Bureau also recommends shopping for jewelry in person as opposed to online shopping. If you're purchasing tickets for an event or class, make sure you get the details in writing, including the total cost and features. And you can always look up BBB accredited businesses. You can find more information and tips ahead of the holiday on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Carthage Technology Center's carpentry class is building brighter futures, and our very own Carrie Worthen went to Carthage to learn more. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. The center provides hands-on learning for students for Carthage and surrounding schools. Building items like sheds in a class can help students get a feel for their future careers. After the project is done, they auction off the item to replace the money it costs for materials.
Our school doesn't offer that, so it's nice to come here in the morning and be able to work. And like I said, he's a good teacher. He's smart, you know. He's good at his job, and you get hands-on experience with everything you do here.
The Carthage Technology Center carpentry class has two 10 by 10 storage sheds for sale. Bids are due by 12 on May 12th. That's tomorrow.
There you go. Well, thank you, Carrie. Is this the first year that they've done this?
This is not the first year they've done this. They did this last year as well. Last year they had 3 sheds, but they did not auction them off. They use, believe one at the school itself, and then this is the first year they're actually auctioning off the sheds.
Well, hopefully they can make some money and be able to recoup the cost to build those and build more in the future.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Carrie. On Wednesday, the Sarcoxie City Council held a meeting to review an appeal about a suspension of the city's police chief. KOAM's Yana Tula attended the meeting and has more.
The city of Sarcoxie, Missouri hosts a packed city council meeting over police chief Brandy KOAM's appeal following her suspension on May 4th. Mayor Don Triplett says he first asked KOAM to resign from lack of confidence.
She declined that, and it was almost in lieu of a disciplinary action. When she declined it, that disciplinary action, this was one of the major concerns was this specific incident that she got the 2-week suspension for.
Behavior factors and disobedience were discussed. Triplett says the second half of the suspension was imposed because of KOAM's post on social media towards a grandmother after an Amber Alert.
The sarcastic statement in social media, it is unbecoming of any of us. As an elected official, police chief, I've reached out to the grandma and I've personally apologized. I would like for her to understand why that's wrong.
Resident Brenda Smith mentions KOAM makes sure her grandkids can safely play outside and how she saved her life.
I got stung by a bee in the front yard. I didn't have an EpiPen. I called 911. She came up. She stayed with me until the ambulance arrived to take care of me.
Residents think the town would have more crime and issues without KOAM.
Recently we had to report our son as a runaway, and Brandy was with us every step of the way. Her and her team checked on us, made sure we were okay, gave us any information that she had at the time.
Mayor Triplett says this meeting is to justify the decision about the suspension. KOAM will finish the suspension.
Council's what they want to do is develop some kind of an improvement plan for her when she comes back, and if she agrees to work on those things, then we'll give it a go.
KOAM wished not to comment on the happenings. In Sarcoxy, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Triplett says KOAM will be meeting the council to discuss an improvement plan for her on May 19th. Well, this morning we're discussing AI and the future elections.
Experts are worried about the use of AI and how they can be used to spread misinformation. This comes after Tucker Carlson, who has been known to repeatedly lay out baseless theories, says that the basic news people consume is a lie.
Take a recent ad produced by the Republican National Committee in response to President Biden's announcement that he's running for re-election. Images in the ad were generated by artificial intelligence, or AI, and tick through a series of imagined dystopian scenarios if Biden wins.
And that brings us to our question for you this morning. Are you planning to vote in the next election? So far, 100% of you say that you are, and that's a good thing. You've got to exercise your right. That's how we have power, is by voting. That's our power. So make sure you take time to vote and exercise your power in this poll by voting through our website, our app, and taking part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
And just so you know, AI can never take the place of your vote.
That's very true.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, teachers in Michigan get a thank you from their schools via Meals on Wheels.
Plus, the man accused of being an accomplice in the murder of a girl is extradited to the United States. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. Topping World Watch, Tunisia's government says a gunman killed 3 security officers and 2 visitors near a synagogue. This happened as thousands of Jews attended an annual pilgrimage on the island of Jerba. The dead include a dual Tunisian-Israeli citizen and a French national. Security forces killed the attacker. The Interior Ministry says he was a guard at a naval installation who used his weapon to kill another guard and steal his ammunition. Prime suspect in the 2005 disappearance of Natalie Holloway is being extradited to the United States. Joran Vandersloot, currently in Peru, is serving a 28-year prison sentence for the murder of 21-year-old Peruvian Stephanie Flores in 2010. Vandersloot, a Dutch citizen, will be handed over to American authorities as he is one of the main suspects in Elizabeth Holloway's disappearance. The Alabama teen was on vacation in Aruba in 2005 and was last seen leaving a bar with Vandersloot. Her body was never found. Holloway was declared dead in 2014. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:47 on this Thursday. We do have a possible alert day for tonight. Specifically, it's looking between 1 and 4 a.m. on Friday for the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. First, quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We've got scattered showers. We've had a couple of rumbles of thunder here and there. We've got some little pauses in some zones, but don't worry, there's more showers on the way as activity continues to lift to the north out of Arkansas. And then we're watching the possibility of those strong severe storms tonight. They're expecting pretty significant severe weather across parts of southern Kansas and into north central Oklahoma. And so that's the activity that could eventually make its way to our neck of the woods. So we go through the rest of this morning. Again, scattered showers, few thunderstorms out there. And then roughly by about 2, 3 o'clock, they are on their way out. And we'll see some clearing in some locations. So some of us may push highs near 80. The rest of us look in mid-70s. Then we head into tonight. By 10 o'clock, a couple of scattered storms out there, and then there's that batch of severe thunderstorms from north central Oklahoma. One scenario, which is what this is depicting, is the worst of the activity. The stronger activity stays south into Oklahoma and south of I-44 as we push through the early morning hours on Friday. Another possible scenario shows this batch being a little bit bigger and stretching across parts of southeast Kansas. This is something that we'll, of course, continue to watch very closely as we go through today, and we'll keep you updated on what the forecast trends look like. Here's what we're looking at right now for tonight in terms of our severe risk. There's that elevated tornado risk in our far western counties and a low-end risk for the Brown. Elevated hail risk and an elevated wind risk, but you can see where it cuts off kind of sharply on each of these. So it's something, again, we will watch very closely. Right now, 20th and Rangeline, MoDOT camera there showing us some wet roads from this much-needed rainfall across the area, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh, and you can see the shiny wet roads at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. 66 right now, east-southeast breeze at 8 miles an hour. We got those partly cloudy, mostly cloudy skies out there. 64 Iola, 67 Chanute, Chatopa, Miami, and 66 Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar. Again, a few scattered storms as we go through the morning, lower 70s by late morning. We head into the afternoon. On average, highs in the mid-70s, but where you see a little more sun, could push closer to 80. Showers, thunderstorms out of here by 3. Our evening looks great. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 70s. Not bad to get out and get done whatever you need to get done. Lows tonight in the mid-60s, and then again starting around 10 and then pushing into the overnight. So we're watching for that possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms. Some isolated evening storms Friday. These will be very isolated, 80. Evening storms on Saturday, Sunday, a few scattered storms on Monday, temperatures 70s and 80s. And we'll see partly cloudy skies through the majority of next week with more storm chances next weekend. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
A popular Mediterranean restaurant is giving back to hundreds of educators in Oakland County, Michigan. Alyssa Bergio shows us the special way this restaurant is saying thank you during Teacher Appreciation Week.
Teachers do so much. They give us the tools to succeed in life. Sometimes it's hard to show how much you really appreciate them. But today, one restaurant in Oakland County is showing its gratitude by not only feeding teachers' appetites, but their hearts.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do things like this.
North Farmington High School Principal Joe Green wants his staff to know they matter.
Teachers do not get near the recognition that they deserve on a number of levels. The work is so hard.
To kick off Teacher Appreciation Week,
staff, please come down and enjoy a lunch that Olga's has graciously provided in honor of all that you do.
Nearly 300 meals from Olga's Kitchen were made fresh and delivered to teachers at 3 different schools in Oakland County. North Farmington High is one of them.
Yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy. One specific teacher in each of those schools has done an outstanding job and earned a top teacher in Oakland County award. So we really wanted to make sure that we said thank you to all of those folks and their teams for all of the hard work and inspiring the next generation.
Astronomy and earth sciences teacher Michael Bowsey is one of the instructors who received this recognition. He's been a teacher for 22 years.
I still can't quite wrap my head around it. There are so many good teachers here that it's hard to believe that I would have been picked.
Bowsey blown away by the incredible honor and this delicious spread.
I've only been thinking about Snackers really pretty much for the last 24 hours.
This Mediterranean meal meaning much more than just a simple lunch.
This really blew them away. I think this had a profound and powerful impact, and they definitely felt appreciated through this. So Olga's has definitely helped us start the week with a home run.
I don't know about you, but those salads looked amazing. Teachers at the local elementary school and middle school in the area were also receiving the meals. We'll be right back. Well, some young musicians in Chicago got quite the surprise on Tuesday when former President Barack Obama showed up at their session. They participate in the organization Guitars Over Guns, and it's a grant recipient of My Brother's Keeper Alliance. Former President Obama founded that nonprofit in 2014 to help boys and young men of color reach their full potential. It gave Guitars Over Guns $15,000 to support its mission. The Chicago organization combines music education and mentorship to help students from vulnerable communities become leaders. In North Carolina, a curious cat that was checking out a bathroom remodeling project ended up becoming part of it. Surf City firefighters posted photos on its Facebook page showing the rescue, and last weekend the kitty crawled into a hole in the floorboards during construction and no one noticed until it was too late. Firefighters removed the brand new shower floor and the cat popped up. The cat was not hurt and even made new friends with the firefighters.
We've got ourselves a few scattered showers and thunderstorms as we go through the morning. We're pushing low 70s by late morning. Showers and storms clear out by about 3 o'clock today. We're looking at highs on average mid 70s. However, if you see a little more sunshine, you may be a little warmer. We have a possible alert day for tonight, specifically between about 1 and 4 Friday morning for some strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into the overnight hours, something we'll keep a close eye on for you. Back down to the mid 60s. Some evening storms Friday, storms again on Saturday, storms on Sunday, and some southern scattered storms for us on Monday. Temperatures 80s, 70s. We get partly cloudy skies the majority of next week with more thunderstorm chances as we head into next weekend. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, the Sarcoxie City Council and Mayor weigh in on the review on the suspension of the city's police chief.
We've got a possible alert day for tonight between about 1 and 4 a.m. on Friday for some strong to severe thunderstorms. We'll take a look at that here in just a couple of minutes.
And violent winds and storms tear through the 4 states earlier this week, and many communities are still assessing the damage and the cleanup.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Coming up on 6:01 Thursday morning, almost Friday in the 4 states.
Right.
And we did get a couple of little strong storms last night. There's a gust front that rolled through Joplin off of a dying line of storms. Boy, that wind picked up pretty hard there for about 10-15 minutes. So we don't have any strong or severe storms for us through today. But tonight, that's going to be a different story. Live look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. You can see some of those heavier showers across parts of southeast Kansas and toward Fort Scott. We've got a few more showers starting to roll in from the southeast and southwest Missouri. All of us got a fair amount of rain last night, which was great. We've got a little more of this activity on the way as we go through the morning and early afternoon. And then we're watching the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms tonight. Here we go by 9 o'clock. Again, a few of those scattered showers and storms around the area. Still hanging around by noon and even by 2, but you can see they're more isolated. And by about 3, they're done. We'll see some clearing across the area, so some of us may get a little warmer than your neighbors do. And then we head into tonight. Here we are at 10 o'clock. A couple of isolated storms possible ahead of what could be a batch of strong to severe thunderstorms coming out of north central Oklahoma and southern Kansas. Out west, they're anticipating some significant severe weather. There are questions as to whether or not it'll be able to hold its own as it goes into the overnight here. We're very likely going to get thunderstorms, but the question is if they'll be strong to severe. That possibility certainly exists, though, and that's why we do have, at this point, an elevated tornado risk for our far western counties and that low-end risk for the counties in brown here. Let me back up and show you that. We got an elevated hail risk and an elevated wind risk, so it's something that we'll be watching very closely. Wet roads, MoDOT camera 20th and range line, same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. We've got pretty decent temperatures this morning, and we have a pretty decent evening ahead of us. We'll take another complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A motorcyclist is in the hospital following a crash with an ice cream truck. The crash happened at 4th and Schifferdecker in Joplin just before 1 Wednesday afternoon. Authorities say the motorcycle driver was driving north on Schifferdecker when it hit the side of the ice cream truck. The intersection was closed for a few hours. Now, the van driver was not injured. No word on the condition of the bike rider. On Wednesday, the Sarcoxie City Council held a meeting to review an appeal about the suspension of the city's police chief. Brandy KOAM appealed the suspension she was given by Mayor Don Triplett last week. Triplett says he will not discuss why he asked KOAM to resign before he suspended her, but in the meeting he talked about behavior factors and disobedience. He says the second half of the suspension was imposed because of KOAM's posting on social media after an Amber Alert.
The posting on that has been a contentious point with us, and I know social media is something that nobody quite has their arms around right now. And it's maybe in 5 years it won't be an issue. Maybe everybody will know the right way to handle this. But until then, our policy is always going to be that we're not going to get into the mud and fight like that.
The council decided KOAM will complete her 2-week-long suspension and come back May 19th. Triplett says KOAM will be meeting the council to discuss an improvement plan for her. Well, some home and business owners are cleaning up from Tuesday night's storm damage. The arena at the Civil War Ranch in Carthage is one of many properties in Jasper County dealing with roof damage from the storms. The owners of the Civil War Ranch are grateful the worker who was in the arena was not hurt. The storm did not damage the horse stables. Competitions that usually take place in the arena might have to be postponed or canceled, but events like weddings that take place elsewhere at the ranch will not be affected.
And we have a guy that works for us, and he was inside the arena. He was in the concession area, and that's what he said, that the ground just shook and it just boom.
Civil War Ranch is waiting on an insurance audit for a quote on the cost of repairs. Other places in southwest Missouri also sustained storm damage. A tree on North Pearl and Joplin fell and blocked a road, and part of the tree even landed on a car. Officials say it'll be a couple of days until that tree is cleared. And repairs are underway for Peggy's Restaurant in Jasper, Missouri. The restaurant had extensive roof damage last night. Wednesday marked the 15th anniversary of one of the deadliest tornadoes in the history of the 4 states. On May 10th, 2008, a twister first struck in Pitcher, Oklahoma, killing 6 people and destroying more than 160 homes. As it moved into Missouri, it merged with another tornado at Highway 43 and Iris Road south of Joplin. It killed 16 more people there, including multiple members of 2 families and a volunteer from the Seneca Area Fire Protection District who was trying to warn people. Some of the victims were in their homes, others were killed in their vehicles on the highway, and you can see a bit of our coverage from that weekend on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's called the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Title 42, the pandemic-era public health measure that allowed the U.S. to quickly expel migrants due to COVID-19, expires today. Biden administration is rolling out new rules meant to curb border crossings into the country, as the southwest border is already reporting a dramatic increase in asylum seekers. Jared Hill has the latest.
Lines of asylum seekers grew along the southern border this week, with Title 42 set to expire tonight. Among them is Jonathan Gomez from Venezuela. He shared this video of his dangerous journey across 6 countries. We had to cross rivers filled with snakes and crocodiles, he says. But as people hope to enter the U.S., the Biden administration has put in place new rules aimed at curbing the numbers. Migrants are now required to prove they've applied for asylum online or through another country first. Violators face a 5-year ban from the U.S. and a felony charge.
Our overall approach is to build lawful pathways for people to come to the United States and to impose tougher consequences on those who choose not to use those pathways.
With people already sleeping on the streets, local officials here in El Paso are preparing for this potential increase in migrants with plans to use unoccupied schools as shelters.
We have all our facilities ready to go based on what we see when we see it.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott deployed hundreds of National Guard troops in riot gear to Brownsville, where volunteers are also providing food and assistance to asylum seekers who've been released.
We want their experience in the United States to be a good one where they feel comfortable, where they feel safe.
The Biden administration has also announced plans to set up 100 processing centers in Central and South America in hopes of shifting asylum seekers away from the border. Jared Hill, CBS News, El Paso, Texas.
ACLU is threatening to challenge the Biden administration's new asylum rules in court. Meanwhile, a senior U.S. official tells CBS News more than 10,000 migrants were processed at the border on Tuesday this week, which was a record high. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, 13 federal charges for a junior congressman.
Congressman George Santos pleads not guilty to federal criminal charges. I'm Nicole D'Antonio with his first court appearance and reaction from lawmakers here on Capitol Hill.
Plus, the Food and Drug Administration moves to make a popular birth control pill available over the counter and without a prescription. And Chris returns with another look at your forecast, as well as a look at the forecast heading into the weekend. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, embattled Congressman George Santos pleaded not guilty to a 13-count federal indictment, including charges of fraud and money laundering. The freshman Republican from New York has been at the center of several investigations after revelations he fabricated his life story and credentials leading up to his election. Nicole D'Antonio has more.
Congressman George Santos was arraigned in federal court Wednesday on charges of wire fraud, money laundering, theft of public funds, and making false statements to Congress.
Now I'm going to have to go and fight to defend myself. The reality is it's a witch hunt, because it makes no sense that in 4 months, 5 months, I'm indicted.
Federal prosecutors say he embezzled contributions that were supposed to go to his congressional campaign and used them for his own personal benefit.
The very first class I ever taught was campaign finance law, and I would never have written an exam like this because it's just too obvious. People tend to be sneakier and better at it than this.
Santos is also accused of collecting unemployment benefits while he had a job and lying to Congress about his finances.
The level of fraud, the level of extremism, the continued lies throughout all of this, these are things that we've known.
The freshman Republican from New York fell under intense scrutiny shortly after winning his seat, when lies he told about his background began unraveling. Many fellow New York Republicans have called on Santos to resign, but with a slim majority in the House, GOP leadership is taking a wait-and-see approach.
Obviously, he's going to have to face the charges that he has. Again, he's got a presumption of innocence, but that court process is going to play itself out. But he's already been removed from all of his committees.
Santos has repeatedly resisted calls to resign and recently announced he was running for re-election. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
If convicted of the charges, Santos faces up to 20 years in prison. That's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've still got some scattered showers and even a couple of rumbles of thunder out there. We're going to talk about how long these showers last and about our incoming severe threat when we come back. All right, we've got that possible alert day as we head into the overnight hours tonight between about 1 and 4 a.m. on Friday morning for the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms that could roll in as we head into tomorrow morning. Right now, we've got some scattered showers out there. There's little breaks here and there, but we've got more scattered showers on the way as this system continues to lift to the north out of Arkansas. And we'll continue to see these showers as we head through the morning and early afternoon. And then we're watching out here in parts of Kansas and Oklahoma where they're expecting some significant severe weather, and it's those storms that are expected to eventually make their way to our area as we head into tonight. So let's talk about that. We go through this morning and into the noon hour. Here we've got, again, a few scattered showers, a couple rumbles of thunder, still a few isolated storms out there by 2, and as we head past 3, that clears out. Some of us will see some sunshine, and those of us that see a little more than our neighbors are going to be a little bit warmer than the rest of us today as well. Then we head into 10 o'clock tonight. A couple of scattered showers out there ahead of those storms, and then the storms start to roll in. One scenario has it like this, where any of the stronger activity or even just the thunderstorm activity stays south into Oklahoma and then south of the I-44 corridor as it crosses into southwestern Missouri. These storms could be strong, possibly severe. There's another potential scenario that's playing out where these storms actually hold their own and stretch a little further back to the north and end up overspreading southeast Kansas as well. And so that's something we're going to keep a very close eye on for you. And we've also got a very limited severe thunderstorm threat for us on Friday. Saw a little flare up there in Newton County. That's not saying it will be right there, but one, maybe two storms could form as we head into Friday, and a couple of those could be strong, maybe low-grade severe. So let's talk about tonight's severe threat heading into tomorrow morning. We have an elevated tornado risk for our far western counties, and then a lower-end tornado risk for the counties in brown. Elevated hail risk and an elevated wind risk. So again, it's something we're going to watch very closely for you because there's a couple of different scenarios that could unfold, and even a third option where these storms hold their own, but they don't stay severe. They're just thunderstorms by the time they get here. So we'll watch all of that for you. Live look, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking to the south in Joplin. Sky's gotten a little darker as a few more showers have rolled in, and of course it is showering right now. And still seeing a few scattered showers just exiting the Pittsburgh area, but they're on their way back. KDOT camera at 69 and 400 showing those wet roadways out there. And we've got the wet roadways at 7th and Range Line as well. We're sitting at 66 in Joplin. Light showers just moving back in. And across the area, temperatures look about like this. We've got 66 Fort Scott, 67 Chanute, 65 Neodesha Parsons, 67 Chatopa Miami, and 66 Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar. We get our morning started. Again, a few scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms out there, low 70s by late morning. We head into the afternoon, on average, mid-70s for highs, but again, those of us this afternoon see a little more sunshine, could push closer to 80 degrees. And then as we head into the evening, our evening is going to be relatively pleasant. We're looking at partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 70s, pretty decent. And then we'll start to see the return of those showers and storms. And again, some of those could be strong, possibly severe. So we'll keep a very close eye on that for you tonight. Mid-60s for our lows. Again, maybe a stray storm or two Friday evening near 80. We got a better chance of some evening thunderstorms as we head into Saturday, 82, 79 Sunday. A few more evening isolated storms and maybe a couple of thunderstorms along and south of I-44 on Monday. Temperatures next week hold out in the 70s to near 80 degrees. We're partly cloudy for the majority of next week. And then we've got additional much needed rain and thunderstorm chances as we head into next weekend. That's a check of your forecast. We will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the nation's COVID-19 public health emergency expires tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. With many Americans now vaccinated against the virus, COVID deaths and hospitalizations have dropped dramatically. Free test will not be as readily available, and the CDC will no longer collect state and local data on COVID cases. A new 3-drug combination developed at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute is helping fight advanced kidney disease. Previously untreated cancer patients receiving 3-drug combination had a 27% lower risk of progression or death compared to those taking 2 immunotherapy drugs. People with sleep apnea may be more likely to have brain biomarkers linked to increased risk of stroke and cognitive decline. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic found people who get less quality sleep showed more visible lesions during brain scans, which can be a sign of early cerebrovascular disease. And a Food and Drug Administration advisory panel unanimously recommended a popular birth control pill be sold over the counter without a prescription. Meg Oliver reports. Final decision is expected this summer.
The drug called Opal was first approved by the FDA in the 1970s. It needs to be taken every day at the same time within a 3-hour window in order to be effective.
Women need to be educated about how to use the O-pill. It's a less forgiving birth control method than regular prescription oral contraceptives in that this is a progestin-only pill. Many of the pills you get by prescription are estrogen plus progesterone, so those are more effective.
The advisory panel decided the benefits of the drug outweigh the risks. Still, Opal is not for everybody.
If you're obese, if you have breast cancer and if you have abnormal vaginal bleeding, you should not use the O pill.
The maker of the drug has not talked about pricing. Over-the-counter medicines are usually cheaper than prescriptions, but generally insurance companies don't cover them. The Catholic Medical Association is among the groups that have raised objections to the pill. Tonight, they say they were disappointed in the decision.
Wednesday's vote is just the first step. The full FDA is expected to vote on the recommendation this summer. If approved, O-pill could be on store shelves by the end of the year. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Well, we've got ourselves a few scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms hanging on through the morning hours, and we'll be up to the low 70s by 11. We push into the afternoon. If you see more sunshine than your neighbor, you may be closer to 80 degrees. Otherwise, on average, mid-70s for highs. Showers and thunderstorms clear out by 3, and we've got a pretty pleasant evening for us under partly cloudy skies, temps in the 70s, but we have this possible alert day as we head into early tomorrow morning between about 1 and 4, where we're watching the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms to roll through the area. It's something we're keeping a very close eye on for you as we head in through today and, of course, into tomorrow morning. Well, otherwise, we are down to the mid-60s for our overnight lows. Excuse me. Could see an isolated strong storm or two Friday evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy, warm, temperatures pushing 80 degrees. We head into Saturday and Sunday. More evening shower and thunderstorm chances, so some much needed rain there. And no severe weather expected at this time, which is good news. I think we've had our fair share so far. 82 Saturday, 79 Sunday. A few isolated thunderstorms possible along and south of I-44 on Monday. After that, our yards get a chance to dry out long enough for us to mow them, because I know they probably need to be mowed at this point. We're going to be under partly cloudy skies, pushing the low 80s toward the end of the week. And then I know we also still need a lot of rainfall to help out with the drought situation. And those rainfall chances will begin to return as we head toward next weekend. Temperatures in the low 80s. That is a check of your forecast. We'll have more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, KOAM's Carrie Worthen introduces us to the Carthage Technology Center's carpentry class, where sometimes all you need is a hammer and a nail to build a brighter future.
And we've got ourselves a possible alert day as we head into the early morning hours of Friday. Could see some strong to severe thunderstorms late tonight. We'll talk about that and the showers going on right now coming up.
And the Joplin Fire Department is looking for a few good men and women to staff its upcoming addition, Fire Station number 7.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:30. I'm Tanya Buck.
I'm Chris Warner. Thursday morning, almost a Friday, so the week just about to wrap up, and it's going to wrap up with some additional showers and maybe even some thunderstorms out there. Right now in the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we've got these scattered showers across the area and a few more starting to roll in. We could even have a couple more rumbles of thunder out there as we go through the morning and early afternoon as this system continues to lift to the north. Very slowly, but it is bringing some much needed rainfall across the area. We need the rain so bad. We just don't need the severe weather, but unfortunately it's May, it's severe weather season, and that's going to be a side effect of some of our much needed rain. We go into the afternoon, we see still some scattered showers, thunderstorms out there, hanging on by 2 o'clock, although a little bit more isolated. And then by about 3, 4, they are out of here. Some of us may see some clearing skies, and that will allow us to push near 80. The rest of us see a few more clouds out there, and we're going to be pushing into the mid-70s today. We go to 10 o'clock, a couple of isolated showers or storms possible, but out to our west, significant severe weather expected further to our west. But those storms could roll into our area between roughly 1 and 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, and these could be strong to severe. So this is something that we're keeping a very close eye on. That's why we have that possible alert day for us. We do at this point have an elevated tornado risk for our far western counties and a lower end risk for the counties in brown. We have that elevated hail risk and an elevated wind risk. So again, something we're going to keep an eye on as we head through the day, and we'll keep you updated on those storm chances through tonight. We'll be back with another full check of your forecast here in a few more minutes, but for now, Tanya, we're going to send it back over to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. The Carthage Technology Center's carpentry class is building brighter futures. KOAM's Carrie Worthen joins us live with more about the program. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. The students just finished their big project and now the community can get involved.
It's cool, like when you build something, like you get the satisfaction of like, oh, I built that, you know, like nobody else built that, but I built that, and people are buying the stuff I built, so it's pretty cool, yeah.
Braxton Smotherman is a senior in Webb City, but travels to Carthage Central Technology Center to attend carpentry classes.
Our school doesn't offer that, so it's nice to come here in the morning and be able to work. And like I said, he's a good teacher. He's smart, you know. He's good at his job, and you get hands-on experience with everything you do here.
Nathan Oliger is a carpentry instructor. He believes hands-on learning is the best way to teach.
Smaller scale without having waste, so we can teach the framing, the siding, the rafters without, you know, doing it at small scale and then throwing that away or trying to recycle smaller boards.
He also teaches no waste of materials.
We actually use them, we teach them, we put it in a shed. That way we have an end product with zero waste.
The class has multiple projects throughout the year. One of the big ones is the shed that the class builds. It is then auctioned off to the public.
We do try to sell the end product, you know, to get our material money back. And so through the school district, they have to be sold through an auction.
The carpentry class is building more than projects. They are building futures.
It's nice because I like how this program offers that, because even building small things, you learn how to build big things.
The Carthage Technology Center carpentry class has 2 10x10 storage sheds for sale. Bids are due by noon on May 12th. That's tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Carrie. And what was the purpose and why they decided to actually auction off these sheds this year?
So they wanted to get their money back for materials to build more stuff. A lot of schools, he said that they take them down and use the same materials after building them, but the teacher wanted to start from scratch. There wouldn't be any wood that had the cuts already in it. He wants the students to learn how to start from scratch by even cutting them and building it up from the bottom.
Plus, I'm sure it feels pretty good to have something that you built out there in the community put to use.
Yes, yeah, the students seem very excited about that part.
All right, thank you so much, Carrie. Well, if you're in need of a new doghouse, then you should look no further than Lakeside Elementary in Pittsburgh. Lakeside Elementary 5th graders have been hard at work handcrafting durable and unique doghouses to help raise funds for the SEK Humane Society. Houses can be viewed at Meadowbrook Mall in Pittsburgh from May 12th through the 19th. The silent auction will be held on the 20th, or from the 20th to the 21st, where bidders can write down their bids at the bidding table. The winners will be contacted on the 22nd to not only pay for their houses, but schedule pickup as well. Joplin Fire Station number 7 opens in the fall, and you can be part of the team. Training Chief Dustin Luno says they need additional firefighters to staff the new station, and they are hiring now. You must be 18 or older and have a high school diploma or GED. Luno says other requirements have been waived. He goes on to say the department will bring new recruits on and pay them while training them. Coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7, Fire Training Chief Dustin Luno stops by to tell us more about the recruitment drive. Well, the Better Business Bureau has some tips on how to protect yourself from Mother's Day scams ahead of the holiday weekend. The BBB recommends avoiding suspicious websites. Quick solution is to make sure the website has HTTPS and a lock in the URL. Buy your flowers from a trusted source and one that can deliver on time. The Bureau also recommends shopping for jewelry in person as opposed to online shopping. And if you're purchasing tickets for an event or class, make sure you get the details in writing, including the total cost and the features. And you can also look up BBB accredited businesses. You can find more information and tips ahead of the holiday on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. On Wednesday, Joplin High School awards scholarships to more than 100 graduating seniors. It's part of the school's senior honors night. 130 scholarships were handed out by the Joplin Schools. The Joplin Schools Foundation, athletic and activity booster clubs, local family endowments, and community donors. Officials say it's a great way to recognize all the hard work these students have put in as they go on to their next step. More than 90 students were also recognized for receiving scholarships from the state of Missouri's A+ program. Well, some local women leaders shared their stories of success in Carthage, Missouri on Wednesday. It included information on marketing and networking. And our very own Vice President and General Manager of KOAM, Brooke Arnold, gave the keynote address. The event is a collaborative effort for Women in Power to enhance businesses from startup to existing.
To be able to sit around and have a discussion with a round table to learn from each other, that's how we do better in our business, do better in our work environment, when we network together, when we work together.
The event was held in the Memorial Hall Auditorium. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Making backseat passengers safer.
Crash tests in small cars show a higher risk of injuries for people in the back seat. I'm Danya Backus, and I'll show you what researchers discovered.
And we've got some showers across the area continuing through the early afternoon, and then we're watching the possibility of some strong, maybe severe storms later tonight. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back as well.
In Consumer Watch this morning, the Consumer Price Index slowed for the 10th month in a row, according to the latest Labor Department report. April consumer prices were 4.9% higher than a year ago, the first time inflation data has been below 5% in 2 years. It was led by a drop in food cost, with milk prices down around 2%. The price of bacon down almost 9%. And Altria has agreed to pay $235 million to settle at least 6,000 Juul-related state and federal cases. Those lawsuits claim the former Juul investor helped fuel the rise of teen vaping. In a statement, Altria said they believe the claims against them are meritless, but the settlement avoids the uncertainty and expense of a protracted legal process. Ford is releasing a truck in the U.S. that's already pretty familiar to people in other countries. The midsize Ranger has sold more than 180 global markets, and it's a bestseller in 17 of them. It's also smaller than Ford's big F10 trucks that are top dogs domestically, but larger than a car like Ford Maverick. The U.S. has had a version of it since 2018, but on Wednesday, the company unveiled the redesign. It's set to compete with the Toyota Tacoma, Honda Ridgeline, Jeep Gladiator, Nissan Frontier, Chevrolet Colorado, and the GMC Canyon. 3 of those have new redesign work of their own. Well, cars are better than ever at protecting passengers in a crash, but an insurance organization wants to make them even safer and is adding new criteria to its crash test. Danya Backus reports.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety drove 5 popular small cars into a barrier at 40 miles per hour. All the vehicles did a good job protecting the driver.
Unfortunately, they did not do a good job of protecting the rear passenger.
IIHS President David Harkey says researchers used a dummy about the size of a 12-year-old in the back. They found the seatbelt slid from the hip bones to the abdomen during the crash, which can cause internal injuries.
What we want to see is for that lap belt to stay in position and hold that dummy's entire torso region tight against the rear seat.
Measuring injuries in the back seat is a test the IIHS recently added. Earlier this year, the group tested SUVs, and the results were also poor. Harkey says seatbelts in the back need to be more like those in the front, with better anchor points and a tension system that mitigates the force of the crash.
If we can get that technology in the rear seat, we believe we can immediately start to move some of these vehicles from poor ratings to acceptable or good ratings.
Automakers are already designing those changes in future vehicles, which is expected to make cars even safer. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got those scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area, and they will continue as we head into the noon and early afternoon hours today. But as we go to about 2 o'clock, they become a little more isolated, and by about 3 or 4, they are out of here. Now, some of us could see a little more sunshine than others, so those that do could get a little closer to 80 today. Otherwise, we're looking about the mid-70s, but we have a possible alert day for some strong, maybe severe thunderstorms between about 1 and 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So this is what is the expectation at this point, is the stronger activity will remain south of the Kansas border, go through Oklahoma, and then remain south of I-44 on the Missouri side. But these storms could still be strong to severe. They're going to be part of a significant severe weather event out to our west. There's some questions onto whether or not they'll be able to hold their own as they roll in. The belief, of course, is we'll get thunderstorms tonight and early tomorrow morning. It's just a matter of whether or not they'll be able to hold on to their strength as they come into the area. If they do, then we could have all severe modes possible at this point. If they don't, we'll just get some thunderstorms. Here's a look at what we're looking at now. We do have an elevated tornado risk for our far western counties and a lower end risk for the counties in brown. We have an elevated hail risk and we have an elevated wind risk as well with those storms tonight. And of course, we'll continue to monitor this as we go through the day. Quick look outside. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Rain showers falling. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. So of course, that means roads are wet. So do prepare for that out there. We'll have another complete look at your forecast in just a moment. We've also got birthdays and anniversaries just around the corner. But before we do any of that, let's go see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Ghost star Danielle Pinnock will be here. She'll be in studio talking about the hit comedy's season finale. That is coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Thursday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to begin in Quapaw with champ Ryan Scott celebrating the big number 1.
All right, and then the second one on our list, we got Barrett Brannon turning 7 strong this year in Columbus.
And we've got Audrey Combs also in Columbus celebrating a birthday today. And there she is pictured with her mom. Happy birthday, Audrey.
And the party must be in the bus because we're going to stick with Columbus for a birthday celebration with Lindsay Morris.
And over in Carthage, we've got Karen Barbosa celebrating a birthday with happy birthday wishes coming from Marcia, Jane, and Evelyn.
And Beverly Murdoch. And guess where, Chris?
The bus.
The bus. Happy birthday, Beverly.
All right, that's a pretty short list, so we still love celebrating with you, but we want that list to be about 3-4 times as long. I know our production folks don't, but we want that list to be really long, and we want to tell you how you can make it longer and help celebrate with us, and Tanya knows how, don't you, Tanya?
That's right. All you have to do is send all your information to one simple email, and don't forget to include those pictures. We love to share those. And that email is birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website checking out all the awesome features it has, make sure you check out one of the most awesome features it has. That's the KOAM Birthday Club. You get great deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for that birthday club today. All right, let's take a look here. We got the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We've got those scattered showers around the area continuing to roll on through, and they will continue to do so in parts of extreme southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and then the rest of southwest Missouri with this activity that's rolling on through. Then we're watching out to our west, where they're looking at a potentially significant severe weather event down through southern Kansas and into north central Oklahoma. We shouldn't see anything quite like that. But those storms will eventually make their way toward our area as we head into very early tomorrow morning. That's what we're going to talk about here in just a moment. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, nothing strong or severe as we head through the noon hour. By 2, they're a little more isolated, and by about 3, 4 o'clock, they are out of the area, and that will allow some of us to see a little more clearing than the rest of us, so some of us could be a little bit warmer than the rest of us. And then it's tonight. And more specifically, roughly between 1 and 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, where we could see those strong to severe storms out west make their way into the area. It's looking to stay south of Kansas initially, and as it rolls east, it'll be along and south of the I-44 corridor. There's some questions as to whether or not these thunderstorms will still be strong to severe by the time they get here. Right now, there is that expectation that they very well could be. There's a possibility this line might extend a little further into southeast Kansas as well. Thunderstorms are a guarantee overnight tonight. It's just a question as to whether or not they're still going to be strong to severe by the time they make it here. But as of right now, we do have an elevated tornado risk for our far western counties, and then that leaves a low end risk for the counties here in Brown. We have an elevated hail risk and an elevated wind risk. And you also see where this goes up through southeast Kansas, because one other possible scenario is, again, that line actually extends that far north and brings a sweeping round of strong severe thunderstorms. This is something we're going to keep a very close eye on throughout today. We'll keep you updated both online and on air and in the Skywatch weather app. Right now, 20th and Range Line, MoDOT camera there looking to the south. We've got some scattered showers. It's causing the skies to be a little dark and a little dreary this morning, but again, much needed rainfall in the area. And same from the KDOT camera at 69 and Pittsburgh, 400 just south of Pittsburgh. We got the wet roads out there this morning, so do be aware it makes them a little slicker. 66 in Joplin right now, and around the region we've got low to mid 60s. We got 66 Fort Scott, 66 in Parsons, some 67s in Neodesha, Chanute, Chatopa, and Miami, and 66 in Neosho and Carthage. And as we get our morning started, again, some of us holding on to those scattered showers, thunderstorms, and again through the morning, thankfully, nothing strong or severe, and our temperatures will be reaching the low 70s by late morning. We'll take a look at the rest of your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Motorcyclist is in the hospital following a crash with an ice cream truck. The crash happened at 4th and Schifferdecker in Joplin just before 1 Wednesday afternoon. Authorities say the motorcycle rider was driving north on Schifferdecker when it hit the side of the ice cream truck. Now, the van driver was not injured. No word on the condition of the biker. Sarcoxie City Council holds a meeting Wednesday night to review an appeal about a suspension of the city's police chief. Brandy KOAM appealed the suspension she was given by Mayor Don Triplett last week. Triplett says he will not discuss why he asked KOAM to resign before he suspended her. But in the meeting, he talked about behavior factors, disobedience, and social media posts. Joplin High School awards scholarships to more than 100 graduating seniors. 130 scholarships were handed out by the Joplin Schools Foundation, athletic and activity booster clubs, local family endowments, and community donors. More than 90 students were also recognized for receiving scholarships from the state of Missouri's A+ program. Some local women leaders shared their stories of success in Carthage. The event included information on marketing and networking. Our very own Vice President and General Manager of KOAM, Brooke Arnold, gave the keynote address. The event is a collaborative effort for Women in Power to enhance businesses from startups to existing businesses. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As we head into the afternoon, a few scattered showers, thunderstorms closing out about 3-4 o'clock. Highs on average mid-70s, but those of us that see a little more sunshine will push into about the 80-degree range. A pleasant evening, partly cloudy skies in the 70s, not too bad. And then we have our possible alert day for tonight, where we're watching the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms roughly between 1 and 4 a.m. Friday. So that's something we're going to keep a close eye on for you. A couple of isolated storms on Friday, a few more Saturday and Sunday evening, and a few more on Monday. And then we'll have a couple of partly cloudy days next week. Temperatures upper 70s, lower 80s for the most part.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making balsamic flank steak in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Yummy.
And that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Former Missouri prisoner Lamar Johnson spent nearly 3 decades in prison for a crime he didn't commit. He's live in the CBS Mornings studio to tell why he never stopped fighting to prove his innocence.
All right, or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Joplin Fire Department's training chief, Dustin Aluno, stops by our studio to talk about a recruitment drive for Joplin's newest fire station.
Plus, we take a look at the latest teen obsession. It's not a video game or a social media site, but a centuries-old board game. Tell you all about that. That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.